for today. Forget your worries just for today. Forget your worries. Hi, people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Ruth Keruba and this is Teach Christ International. So today I want to talk about exam anxiety. Yeah. So it's normal to feel anxious, especially due to exam preparation, as well as, what if I don't pass? What if, yeah, I pass, what next? You see, those questions can linger in your mind and make you anxious. But I love the Bible because it gives us an assurance. Like when you read in the book of First Peter chapter 5 verse 7, it says, cast your burdens unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Cast your burdens unto Jesus, for he cares for you. Higher, 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 Jesus, higher, lower, 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 Satan, lower. Yeah, so that is one thing you need to know, that you should cast your anxieties, your worries on Christ. Yeah, on a higher being. That is, if you don't believe in Christ, but he's there. Another one is from the book of Philippians, verse chapter 4 verse 6 to 7, which says, do not be anxious over anything, but by prayer, by thanksgiving and petition, make your requests known, and the peace that transcends will be upon you. So during this exams period, I know a couple of students or learners fail to even sit for the exams because they cite anxiety, which is among a psychological disorder, though it can be normal depending on the stress. Sometimes it's even the situation one is in. Maybe they feel like they have limited time to revise, or they feel like they just have maybe 2 hours to download everything, which is testing on memory, and thereafter it will be used to judge them for the rest of their lives. It's not fair. Like you've been studying, let's say during the KCPE, you have studied for over 8 years, and all these things are just put into 2 hours. Yeah, it in science, and just defines the kind of school you will attend, the university you'll go, and people will be judging you by it. So it's okay to feel anxious, okay, but you need to thank God, at least you're alive, you have even faced the paper, you had teachers, you have the privilege of even education, you're literate. So all these things are things you should be grateful for. The petition is that God gives you divine leakage. Yeah, he opens up your mind so that you can be able to remember all that you have been taught, and you can apply it. Also ask God for speed. Yeah, so thereafter everything, I think, will fall in place. You just do your part and God does the rest. Yeah. And so I've done a couple of exams ranging from the diagnostic tests, the CATs. The CATs are a continuous assessment test. We have done RATs, random assessment tests, quizzes, and I can tell you, like, for quizzes, sometimes for me they used to be stressful. Kwanza high school, we had this teacher, why have I forgotten his name? So he could bring quizzes and leave them at the hall, so you go, you pick, and you're supposed to do them within 30 minutes. Yeah, it was a good thing because it could help engage your memory and some of the testable areas. So yeah, it was helpful, but wow, the stress that was attached to it, sometimes you realize, wow, I don't know anything, so you'll feel inadequate. So yeah, we have done essays, we have done projects. Like for me, projects used to be the hardest thing. Sometimes you find you have uncooperative group members, and now when you're maybe a secretary or a group leader, it is your responsibility to ensure the task has been done and has been submitted. sometimes you're just a group member but you're concerned, maybe you gave points but you're not seeing them reflecting, so you're wondering, kutendaje. Sometimes people are not even coming to the group discussions, and you're like, as much as degree ni arambe, this is too much because literally you're straining. So that will bring anxiety, or sometimes I know, like, you're being judged, a group maybe of 10 people, given marks, and you feel like maybe it would have been better. Like, there's a time we had done educational environmental EN 100, yeah. So, introduction to environmental studies, yeah. Sorry, I think I've even got anxious. So, so uh, we did the project, the group project, and we got a 5 out of 30. So it meant I had to really work hard in the final paper so that I could get, by that time I was aiming for a first class honors. Yeah, I missed it by a few points. It still pains, but God has good things in store. So, I had to get an A by all means. So literally I could sleep in the library, and the disappointment, like, you've been working so hard, what you even wrote in the sitting, you also failed. 11 out of 30, so you can imagine. So when you do 11 plus 5, that is 16, divided by 2, so it's 8 out of 30, right? So yeah, I had to work hard, and thank God I got an A finally. So what did I do to ease my anxiety during the exams, or what have I been doing? One is adopting good study habits, like preparing early. You're given a timetable for a reason, and this is to help you plan. So for me, what I learned from my high school mates, you start studying for the paper that is the last one. Okay. Then as you near the exam, you can now study for the exams which are maybe tomorrow. Yeah, so that you can even at least do what, cram. So that is one thing you can do. You strategize on how you're going to revise. Another thing is to be orderly. Yeah, you have your exam materials together. They should not be scattered. This is the topic I'm going to study. I take a break, then I do this. Another thing is to involve study partners. Like for me, I had many study partners, especially my friend Eunice. So we could discuss. So they could give me some of their points, I share my points, they help to clarify. So in case, like, I had issues somewhere, I feel like after consulting it would ease that tension, because someone will be like, that is actually the easiest. Like, there's a unit, education, economics and planning, I think. Yeah, I used to fear math, by the way. So there was this questions, you calculate the enrollment rate, nini nini. So my then roommate, what was her name, I've forgotten. Oh, but she's Mama Bianca. So she's called Miriam. Yeah, so she brought in a friend. Yeah, this guy helped us to revise. So they were really good study partners, and I got an A in that unit, because you get someone who understands those things, and they simplify for you, so the tension reduces, and you go to the exam confident and competent. Yeah, so the the tension goes away. Another thing is to just breathe in, breathe out. It's not the end of life. Exams will be there. Take them positively, because at the end of the day, in most cases, it's to try to gauge whether you understood the facts or not. Yeah. So you take it positively, breathe in, breathe out. take water if you have to. Some people actually can pee on themselves. So go to the restroom, help yourself, go for that nature call. Yeah, I remember there was a time like in upper primary I could sweat. So I could sweat. So I could sweat and my hands could be literally be wet. So you can imagine if it's an inch, it becomes really dirty. But at the end of the day, you could ace. Yeah. So that is another thing. Another thing is to sing. Like in our schools, I remember in primary we used to sing this song. Yesu jemedari wetu atatuongoza, mbele yetu tuna ushindi, ushindi wa Yesu. Yesu jemedari wetu atatuongoza, mbele yetu tuna ushindi, ushindi wa Yesu. Yesu jemedari wetu atatuongoza. So that song, we knew it will really jazz us, inakujaza nguvu, and you're like, God, if God is for us, who can be against us? And we're going to indeed win. The song that we used to sing, especially for the practicals, so we could be in the quadrangle and we start singing, oh Zambe, so solonza, so solo, haye kuzambe, asifiwe tena, Yahweh, 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 sifiwe tena. So solonza, aye kuzambe. So with that South African sound, energy, it's like singing Jerusalem, na 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 na. Yeah, so it will really jazz us up, and we could go to the exam super excited. Yeah, we could go to the exam now with less tension. You just got there and you do your thing. Yeah. Another thing is to have someone to talk to, tell them how you feel. Yeah. Also talk to God. He is your friend. Tell him in prayer how you feel. Cast your burdens literally onto him. Another thing is to normalize appreciating effort more than the result. I know most people are results oriented. I must, if it's a teacher, we must have this MSS, mean score. But you should appreciate progress. Progress is progress, even if it's by 0.01. Yeah, as long as there's value addition, positive value addition, I think it should be rewarded and reinforced, instead of just placing, sometimes actually we have anxiety because of hitting new milestones. You're like, oh, what will people say, and some of us actually hate such labels. Yeah, because you might tend to even lose some friends because they're like, oh, so I am a change company because ye ni chopi, sijui ni chopire. So that's what happens. So we need to normalize appreciating effort more than we appreciate the results. Yeah, then taking one day at a time. So being calm, as much as it's a time you can be nervous. Normalize exams, they're here, and that's just a replica of life. Anxiety will be there. You want to hit deadlines. Yeah, you'll be sitting maybe for IELTS, the language test. So tests will always be there, and you need to stand strong. Yeah, you should not consider it like the end of life. Yeah, I hope you've learned something on how to cope with the exam anxiety, and hope you'll apply this in your life. Tell me, what are the other ways you have used to cope with anxiety, and did it work? Yeah, I want to know. Please comment on the comment section. Until next time, I've been your host Ruth Kerubo. Bye. Yeah, so I expect you to be seated for that exam. Don't fear. Yeah, courage. Courage, brother, do not stumble. Though thy body against not. Yeah, there's also another verse that says um, that the battle is not to the strong, neither the race to the fastest, but to the true and faithful. Victory is promised unto them. Yeah, so victory is promised unto you if you remain truthful to your cause. Don't be tempted to steal, especially for the KCSE candidates 2024. Please don't engage in examination malpractices. Don't feel anxious and start doing silly things. Just go to the exam, do your thing. Mefunzwa, go and apply it. Alright? Yeah, and read to understand. Don't go with anxiety like there's a paper I missed. Huh? I'm sorry, I had already bid you bye, but here, yeah. So ilikuwa about linguistics. I was too overconfident, and you go to the exam room and you have all the points on your fingertips. Do you know I failed? I got a D because the first question was that you give the origin of language. No, the history of linguistics. Do you know what I wrote? The history of language. Yo, yo, poho, yeah, those theories. I literally, I I set my own question and I answered it correctly. And that is question 1, which was compulsory. So you can imagine I had spent my sweet time downloading, proving how I have studied. So I had literally no time for the rest of the questions, the 2 other questions. So you can imagine the blunder when I'm coming out and I'm being told by my friends, what? You did a big blunder. So yeah, I failed. So I'm urging you, don't be overconfident. Be confident but not overconfident, neither anxious. Just go to the exam, breathe in, breathe out, pause, be mindful. Yeah, like literally be in the present moment. Don't focus on the past. Oh, hatukufunzwa, syllabus haikuisha. Syllabus ni mwalimu umaliza, by the way. Yeah. You start focusing on the future. No, you here, be present, concentrate on the paper, focus, and everything shall fall in place. Until next time, have been your host Ruth Karibe, and this is Teach Crest International. Keep locked. Bye.